U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are meeting at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska, to discuss energy security and national security. The summit comes as the U.S. seeks to increase its energy dominance and reduce reliance on foreign oil. Governor Mike Dunleavy of Alaska argues that the state's vast resources can power the 21st century economy if unleashed from Biden policies. With proven reserves of 3.4 billion barrels of oil and 125 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, Alaska is poised to become a major player in global energy markets. The meeting between Trump and Putin highlights the importance of energy security in national security, with both leaders recognizing that access to affordable energy is crucial for economic growth and stability. 2 EasyJet planes clipped their wings on the runway at Manchester International Airport in the UK on August 15, 2025. A temporary ground stop was issued after they made contact with each other. There were no reports of injuries, and authorities are investigating. The incident occurred while the planes were taxiing, and operations resumed a few minutes later. Washington, D.C. officials have cleared out several homeless encampments in the city, following a warning from President Trump that the homeless have to move out immediately. The action comes as part of an effort to address homelessness in the nation's capital. According to reports, multiple locations were targeted for cleanup and relocation efforts. The move has sparked controversy among advocates for the homeless, who argue that more support is needed to address the root causes of homelessness, rather than simply relocating individuals. Tom Cruise reportedly turned down an opportunity to receive one of the nation's highest arts honors from President Donald Trump due to scheduling conflicts. The 48th Kennedy Center honorees are country legend George Strait, Hollywood star Sylvester Stallone, rock band Kiss, English actor Michael Crawford, and iconic singer Gloria Gaynor. Cruise's latest project was X. Noelle Foley, daughter of WWE legend Mick Foley, revealed she suffered a life-changing injury from a roller coaster ride at Dollywood theme park. She experienced a headache for 5.5 years and was diagnosed with craniocervical instability, which caused her neck to be unstable. Foley said removing her breast implants helped alleviate some of the symptoms. A 321-year-old shipwreck from the Great Storm of 1703 has been documented in stunning detail off the coast of Kent, England. The Northumberland shipwreck was built in 1679 and sank during the storm. Researchers dove to view the wreck last summer, revealing preserved wooden structures and artifacts threatened by shifting sands. Historic England said divers found an extensive hull structure, exposed deck planks, and 7 iron cannons, among other finds. The Texas House of Representatives failed to reach quorum on Friday morning after Democratic lawmakers who fled the state to prevent a vote on congressional redistricting returned home. Republican Governor Greg Abbott is expected to call for a second special session to pass GOP-crafted maps, which would create up to 5 Republican-friendly congressional districts at the expense of currently Democrat-controlled seats. The move comes as California Governor Gavin Newsom and state Democrats unveiled their playbook to counter the push by President Donald Trump and Republicans to enact mid-decade congressional redistricting. Newsom vowed to meet fire with fire by redrawing blue state California's congressional maps to create 5 more Democrat-leaning districts. Former Washington Post fact-checker Glenn Kessler admitted that he was completely wrong to label the COVID-19 lab leak theory doubtful in 2020. In an interview, Kessler blamed himself for adding the words, "It's doubtful," to the headline, and said it was virtually impossible for COVID-19 to have come from a lab. The Washington Post initially rejected the lab leak theory outright, calling it a coronavirus conspiracy theory that was already debunked. However, new evidence emerged in 2021, making the theory suddenly credible. Kessler's admission comes as part of an ongoing credibility crisis for media fact-checkers who were eager to debunk the COVID lab leak theory. A Staten Island activist, Scott Lobido, was arrested outside a New York City Democratic mayoral candidate, Zohran Mamdani's anti-Trump event on Wednesday. Lobido shouted profanities at Mamdani and told him to get out of town. He received 3 summonses for sound without permit, disorderly conduct, and foul language. Mamdani has been hosting a series of 5 boroughs against Trump events across New York City, reaffirming his commitment to protecting New Yorkers from Trump's immigration policies. Kate Gosselin, former star of TLC's John and Kate Plus 8, has spoken out about her life now, which includes working 12-hour shifts as a pediatric nurse. She explained that providing for her 8 children and paying legal costs consumed her income from the show. Gosselin also shared that she misses her old home in Pennsylvania and the days when her children were younger. A man died in California after being struck by a vehicle on the 210 freeway while trying to flee an immigration enforcement operation at a Home Depot, officials said. The fatal incident unfolded Thursday morning in Monrovia, a city outside of Los Angeles, after police received reports of immigration agents approaching the Home Depot. A day laborer who frequents the location in search of work said people there started yelling. The concealed carry permitting process in Washington, D.C. has been slashed from months to just 5 days under President Donald Trump's Making D.C. Safe and Beautiful task force. The task force, established via an executive order in March, is working with local officials to eliminate obstacles and streamline the city's already established process for law-abiding residents to navigate the firearms system. Locals can now book next-day appointments to register their firearms with the Metropolitan Police Department, while walk-in appointments are available and advertised on the police department's website. The concealed carry permit process has also been streamlined, cutting down from several months to 4.6 days in May, according to data compiled by the task force. Appointments for firearm registration and concealed carry licenses have been combined into one category to reduce confusion over which auction to choose when beginning the gun process. Allison Stoner had worked in showbiz for nearly 20 years when the former child star checked a bank account, expecting over $1 million, and there was nothing. The entertainer had been performing since turning 3 years old. The 32-year-old danced alongside Missy Elliott and appeared in Cheaper by the Dozen and Camp Rock, among other films. Yet after being groomed to be sold, the bank account had $0. Stoner is now exploring the pitfalls of fame in a new memoir, Semi-Well-Adjusted Despite Literally Everything. Researchers at Mozilla's Ceradan have discovered a vulnerability in Google's Gemini for Workspace that allows attackers to inject hidden instructions into email summaries. The issue, demonstrated by Marco Figueroa, shows how generative AI tools can be misled through indirect prompt injection. This technique embeds invisible commands inside the body of an email. When Gemini summarizes the message, it interprets and acts on those hidden prompts. To stay safe from phishing scams that exploit AI tools like Gemini, experts recommend not blindly trusting AI-generated content, avoiding using summary features for suspicious emails, being cautious of phishing emails and messages, keeping apps and extensions updated, investing in a data removal service, and disabling AI summaries if concerned. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has sent letters to 32 mayors and governors of sanctuary cities, warning them that they have 1 week to comply with federal immigration laws or face Department of Justice action. The move comes after the DOJ identified nearly 36 cities and states as sanctuaries for illegal immigrants. Bondi pointed to South Carolina as a model of federal, state, and local law enforcement working together to combat crime and protect national security. Los Angeles Dodgers star Mookie Betts says the Milwaukee Brewers have a strong team with good pitching, hitting, and speed. The Brewers have won 12 straight games and own the league's best record in MLB at 76 wins and 44 losses. Betts credits their success to their well-rounded team, saying they do all facets well. He also notes that they've been successful in recent seasons, winning the NL Central Division in each of the last 2 campaigns and making the postseason in 6 of their last 7 seasons. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced the opening of a new immigration detention center, dubbed Deportation Depot, at a shuttered former prison in Sanderson, North Florida. The facility will hold 1,300 beds and can be expanded to 2,000, with an estimated build-out cost of $6 million. DeSantis said the site is ready-made infrastructure, allowing for quick and economical setup. The new center is part of the Trump administration's effort to deport millions of migrants who flooded the country under the Biden administration. The D.C. Attorney General on Friday sued the Trump administration over its federal takeover of the D.C. police force, arguing that the effort is unlawful and exceeds Trump's authority as commander-in-chief. The lawsuit challenges Trump's executive order to temporarily federalize D.C. under Section 740 of the D.C. Home Rule Act, which critics argue is not based on an uptick in crime or an emergency. The suit seeks to block both orders, stating that they infringe on the district's right to self-governance and put the safety of D.C. residents and visitors at risk. New England Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel was involved in a scuffle during the team's joint practice with the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday, August 15, 2025. The incident occurred when 2 players got into a fight after the whistles were blown, and Vrabel attempted to break it up. He was knocked to the ground, but managed to get back up without any reported injuries. This is not the first time Vrabel has been involved in a practice fight. Earlier this month, he stepped in to try and break up another fight during a joint practice with the Washington Commanders, resulting in him walking away with a bloodied cheek. South Carolina State Representative Mark Smith has launched a bid for the U.S. House seat in the Palmetto State's 1st Congressional District, currently occupied by Republican Representative Nancy Mace. Mace is running for governor and left her House seat up for grabs in the 2026 election. Smith, who has served in the State House of Representatives since late 2020, declared his candidacy on X, stating that he will fight for President Trump's America First agenda and deliver results. The CEO of Crowds on Demand, Adam Swart, appeared on Fox and Friends to discuss the surge in paid protester requests this year. According to Swart, his company has seen a 400% increase in requests for paid protesters compared to last year. The CEO stated that while there is misinformation online about paid protesters, those employed by Crowds on Demand I only deployed for peaceful and law-abiding protests focused on persuasion. Swart also claimed that his company services protests on both sides of the political aisle, and that paid protesters typically believe in the cause they are advocating for. He argued that there's no such thing as a truly organic protest, as people have different incentives for participating. U.S. President Donald Trump has reiterated his threat to impose very severe economic consequences on Russia if Russian President Vladimir Putin blocks the Ukraine peace process. The warning comes ahead of a high-stakes summit between the 2 leaders in Alaska, where they are expected to discuss ending Moscow's war on Ukraine. Despite a rocky relationship with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Trump has taken a tough approach to Russia and has been pushing to end the Ukraine war since he took office. Putin appeared optimistic about the process earlier this week, praising Trump for making, in my opinion, quite energetic and sincere efforts to stop the hostilities. However, it remains unclear how the Russian leader will respond when face-to-face with Trump in Alaska. A Loudon County, Virginia school board has voted 6-3 to continue supporting a policy that allows transgender students to use facilities that match their gender identity, despite the Justice Department's threat to pull $50 million in federal funding. The policy, known as Policy 8040, provides protections for transgender students and is in violation of Title IX, according to the Justice Department. The school board's decision has sparked controversy in the state's gubernatorial election, with Republican nominee Winsome Earl Sears calling it absolutely unacceptable, and Democratic nominee Abigail Spanberger pledging to support educators and provide a world-class education for Virginia's kids. A routine on Israel's Dancing with the Stars made headlines for its humorous tribute to President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. The pair was portrayed by two professional dancers who danced to the Village People's YMCA. Clips of the lighthearted routine were widely shared on social media platform X, drawing millions of views. New York City residents are speaking out against a taxpayer-funded safe injection site in East Harlem, where users have been engaging in public sex and desiccation. The site, operated by OnPoint, has seen nearly 6,000 addicts use illegal drugs 38,000 times in the last year alone. Critics argue that the sites enable addiction rather than treating underlying problems, while proponents claim they save lives by providing a safe setting for users. The Trump administration is investigating the sites and may take civil or criminal action. Luxury restaurants in Las Vegas offer high-priced steaks, including a $1,000 Wagyu tomahawk at Poppy Steak and an 18-pound tomahawk feast at One Steakhouse. The dishes are designed to be shared among diners and come with premium sides. Despite rising prices in the city, tourists continue to indulge in luxury dining experiences. The high-end steakhouses cater to visitors seeking unique and memorable meals.